In this tutorial, we're going to cover how to set up the field teleprompter as well as operate the Dejero when you're out doing live shots. This is the case for the teleprompter bracket. Of course, you're probably already familiar with the iPad case, and this is the Dejero Go. The first thing you'll need to do is remove the camera from the bag and then remove the tripod plate that comes attached to the bottom of the camera like such. You'll need some kind of coin or something because it's usually on there pretty tight. Once the tripod plate is loose, go ahead and remove it, but hold on to it because we're going to need it in the very next step. Open up the teleprompter case, remove the foam from around the bracket, and now we're going to use the same tripod plate we just took off the camera and attach it to the bottom of this bracket. You'll have to find which screw hole lines up. You're going to want to go ahead and put that on there and tighten that up. You're also going to look at the bottom of the tripod plate for the word lens with an arrow above it. You want to make sure that the arrow is pointing towards the front of the teleprompter bracket like indicated here. Now we can go ahead and attach it to the tripod the way you normally would a camera. Slide it into place, center the tripod plate on the tripod like you would, tighten that down so it doesn't slide back and forth, and also make sure to tighten the tilt lock because now there's a lot of weight on the front and you want to make sure it doesn't fall forward. With that set up, let's attach the hood of the teleprompter. Take it out of the case and open it up, and look for the zipper on either side of the hood and zip those up. It could take a second or two, so be patient with it and make sure you do this step correctly. If you look closely at the edges of the hood, you'll notice that there's Velcro. These conveniently line up with the Velcro around the glass. Make sure to tilt the glass all the way forward like you see illustrated here. And then take those Velcro strips and make them match up with the ones that are around the glass to properly secure the hood on the teleprompter. If you look here, you'll see a screw on the teleprompter bracket. Use that screw to attach it to the frontmost option at the bottom of the Z150. Insert the camera into the hood like this so that the hood covers and surrounds the lens, but you don't want anything obstructing the front of the camera. Tighten the screw a little bit onto the Z150, but not too much because you need to be able to push the camera forward so that the majority of the camera's body is resting on the teleprompter bracket. Once you have the hood tucked around the camera, you can finish tightening the screw to keep the camera in place. Alright, with that setup out of the way, let's head on over to the iPad. Go ahead and turn it on. If it asks you for a code, go ahead and type 5100. Remember, the iPad only works on Wi-Fi, so you have to be connected to the campus Wi-Fi if you're on campus in order for this to work. If you're not, then you can also connect and use the Dejero as a hotspot. To power on the Dejero, hold down this button here. Keep in mind that it will be a bit before the Dejero can boot up and be ready to send the signal back to the studio. So if you're in a real hurry, turn the Dejero on as soon as you arrive at your location so it'll be ready to go when you need it. With the Dejero powered up, let's turn it into a hotspot. First, click the downward facing arrow at the top right corner, then click More, then click Settings, go to Connections, and then choose Hotspot. If you get this pop-up about return video being active, just choose the hotspot option and it will disable the return video. On the next screen, you need to click Actions and then choose Activate. On this pop-up, click OK. And then to get back to the main screen, you want to go ahead and click the back button, the bottom left, click back again, back again, back again, and now on this screen, click the top right arrow again. And this will bring us back to the home screen. That was a lot, I know, but now the Dejero is a hotspot, so let's go over to the iPad, turn it on. If it asks for the code, remember it's 5100. Go to Settings, Wi-Fi, and now you want to look for the Go option, click that, and it should auto connect. All right, let's go to the main home screen of the iPad. Swipe left a couple times. What you're looking for is this last icon right here, which will take us to the URL that we need to access the prompter. If you see this blank screen here, try hitting the back arrow one time because this is the screen you want to be on. We want to be on Feed 2. Go ahead and turn that on, and assuming they're prompting something in Studio B, they have to be prompting something in order for it to work. This is what you'll see. Go ahead and tap on the bottom right hand corner here. This icon will make this full screen. Now before we can mount this in the teleprompter bracket, we have to make sure to reverse the text by clicking this icon right here. This is how you want the text to look as you mount it into the bracket. Speaking of the bracket, you want to locate these two screws here, which are right above the tripod head. Make sure you loosen both of those, and then this will allow you to slide out the front of the bracket to make room for the iPad, like such. You might have to wiggle and jiggle the iPad a little bit to get it to display the text correctly. The end goal here is when you slide it into place like this, that the text looks correct to the person standing in front of the camera. Slide the iPad back, and then you want to take the front of the teleprompter bracket, slide that into place so it holds the iPad into place, and then tighten those same screws that you just loosened a moment ago. It's also really important that you make sure that the Z150 is set up correctly so that the live shot will work as expected. One of the main things you have to check is that the correct source of video out is being applied. So you want to come down to this double arrows. So hit the menu button, come down to the double arrows, go to video out, arrow down to video out. And when you do, you have a couple options. Well, it looks like you don't have any options for output select. You want to go ahead and hit the button here. And here you'll have a few options for output select. You have SDI, HDMI, or video. We want SDI. So go ahead and hit that, and when you come back, again, it's going to look like nothing's there, but make sure that's on SDI. You also want to come up here to record set. Your file format should be ABC HD, and your record format should be 1080 60i FX like you see here. Another thorn in our side when it comes to live shots is audio. On the bottom right hand corner of the LCD display, you'll see that the VU meter is reacting to my voice, but it's only on the left hand side. It's only on channel 1. Now I have my mic plugged into channel 1, and the reason I'm getting this is because the camera's not set up correctly. So in order to fix this, you want to make sure that you do a couple of things. First, you want to come up to the menu button and go down to the musical note, known as audio set. So go down to the musical note, audio set, and then navigate over to XLR set. Here, you want to go ahead and click that and then do input 1, input 1. This will help us make sure that the camera knows to send the audio from input 1 to both channels, like you see here now at the bottom right hand corner of the LCD display. And again, this is assuming that the switches on the side of the Z150 are set up like you see pictured here. Now we're ready to connect the Dejero to the camera. You'll find two cables coming out of the bottom side of the Dejero, an HDMI, which in this case is not the correct cable to use, and the other one is a BNC, which is the correct one. So grab that cable, find the SDI out port on the back of the camera located here. Open the flap if there is one, slide the BNC cable into place and turn it to the right to lock it. The screen on the Dejero should now be displaying whatever it is that your camera is shooting. Okay, so with everything connected, you're ready to go live. Just simply click the Go Live button here, and after about a minute or so, they should see the shot in the control room and you're ready to go. Once you've been given the all clear from the control room, click the Stop Live button on the Dejero, then click Yes. If you're done, you can power down the Dejero by clicking the same power button as before, located over here. You'll hold it down, it'll say, do you want to turn it off? You say, yes. While the Dejero is powering down, you can break down all the equipment by reversing the steps we went over earlier in this video. Unzip the sides of the prompter hood, fold the flaps in like this, and put the hood back in the case like you see here. Next, grab the teleprompter bracket and make sure you take off the tripod plate that we installed earlier. You want to return this tripod plate back to the camera you got it from. Don't just leave it laying around. Once that's done, put the bracket back in the case like this. Grab the protective foam and put it around it like you see here. Then you can close the top and zip up the case.